We're live. It is. It lies.
It lies.
Because
no, that's not our line.
No, that's not our line. That's Ian's line. He keeps stepping over everybody else's lines.
Right? It's totally fair. We can step on his line.
Step on his line.
There. Yeah.
He's gonna ruin someone's pitch. I'll ruin his lines. Mm-hmm. There we go.
So we're at home. We don't want to be at work.
It's cold.
It's cold. And it got above 30 today, which is nice. Mm-hmm. But we're sitting here huddled at Kortnee's desk around a space heater, which is really lovely.
That lovely gentle hum you hear is the sound of me staying warm.
Right.
It's put it directly at my feet.
Right. Oh my goodness. So he's not big enough to use the N. Okay, so we went to Marscon.
And the boys, we had so much fun.
We had so much fun. And for those of you who were not there, which is like maybe only 2 people not in the chat.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, Nancy, I'm glad you're getting warmer. We had intern Steve, also known as Nick, over from Europe. Mm-hmm. And we had Mike Burke, Sergeant Major, who cannot hide being military.
It's in the shoulders.
It's in the shoulders and the stance and the
mm-hmm.
instant thing that they do. And so we had 2 military guys, and then we have the wonderful and gracious and marvelous Wally with us.
Yes, it was wonderful.
Who rented a land yacht.
It's wonderful.
Amazing land yacht to make sure we could all get where we needed to go. And we had Ian along. Rita was not able to come because dogs, and I'm glad she stayed home because it was so cold here.
It was so cold.
Problems. Yeah. And so we went off to Norfolk.
Off we went, and it was
cold.
Very cold. It was an adventure.
It was an adventure.
Yes.
We're kind of good at that.
We are good at that.
So yeah. And we got there Thursday night and had dinner with the gang. And which was kind of an adventure because we weren't at the main hotel.
No,
we were 2 hotels over for reasons. And we went to the Mexican restaurant, which they insisted on telling me was right outside the door. And I'm like, well, how far do I have to walk? They're literally right there. I was like, oh, I could stumble home from margaritas. Okay.
Right. It was fantastic.
It was
they were
fun.
Yeah.
So we had dinner with the gang, which is the first picture of all you guys, all of us together.
Yes, first picture we posted. We shared. I think we shared it on Facebook, right? We shared. Yeah. I know we shared it on the Discord.
I think it's on Raconteur.
Yeah, I think it's on the Raconteur Press.
Yes.
Yeah, that was us. Everybody, you can tell everybody was exhausted.
Well, and before we even started, we were tired. So because flights and I don't like this leaving at having to be at the airport at 5. No. Because I fall asleep around 4:30, so having to be at the airport at 5, I just didn't go to sleep, and neither did intern Steve. Because he was coming from
Amsterdam.
Which I have to tell you is important later in this story.
Yes. And so we just got there. We just poured ourselves into the seats and started telling.
Well, what's funny is we were like, we're just going to get to the hotel, and we had a friend, Dan, picked us up at the airport, and we're like, I just want to get to the hotel and unpack my underwear. Mm-hmm. And the guys were like, are you here yet? Are you here yet? Are you here yet? You guys were so adorable.
Bunch of little golden retrievers. It was so cute.
We walked into the lobby and there they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so they take their job seriously. We appreciate that.
Yes.
Did we go out to breakfast the next morning?
We did. What did we do? It does blur. So the next morning they
were chasing all the people out of the lobby with their war stories because we had Sam Robb and the 2 guys and Ian and Wally showed up, and they were all telling stories in the lobby before you and I were up.
Right. Yeah. It ended up being like a late breakfast, early lunch.
Yeah, because we did the whole we did this stuff. Breakfast with the after. Thank you, Mike, because boy, we lost track completely. But apparently they were telling war stories and being offensive enough that people eating in the lobby were like, "I'm eating away from these people." So
thank you. You cleared the lobby out for us. It was great.
Good job, guys. And then we went over to the bar, right?
And we sat our asses down and didn't move.
It's 5:00. Because I don't know. I still kind of feel like we're debutantes still.
Feels a bit.
Who just appeared at the ball, but there was a ton of people we wanted to see.
Yeah, and people we needed to see. We'd said, well, we will make a point of talking with you guys at some point during Marscon. And yeah, but we sat ourselves down in the bar, got a couple of drinks, and basically just started having rotating tables of people. And more people, like we always do.
And lots of people.
And then we did dinner.
Did we do dinner?
I think there was dinner.
I think we ate.
Oh,
we had a meeting with Jack first.
Oh yeah, a meeting with Jack. That was great.
Which we are not going to tell you.
Can't tell you anything about that. Nope.
Super secret knowledge. Which was great fun. It was good to see Jack Wilder, who is truly a stellar and fine human being.
Yes.
And got a chance to chat with him some about how much money he's having at Bain, and is that what we did Friday? Are you sure?
Friday night was
Mexican with Larry. Or was that Saturday?
I thought that was Saturday because we had no.
Night. No.
But yeah, it was Saturday. No, Friday. Friday night was Nando's.
Friday night we went to Nando's in the land yacht. And then we discovered that GPS hates us, and Wally failed in the objectives of the mission. So
the objective being getting home.
Yes. So Ian desperately wanted to go to Nando's Peri Peri Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike, you're still recovering from the convention. So
Friday was Nando's, and then Larry was there Saturday because Dan joined us.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Sunday was
a blur, but we should stay on track.
Right. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So Friday we went to Nando's, which is Ian's favorite place, and we ended up with 2 tables of people. Who did we have with us?
I have pictures.
Oh, problem solved.
It was Sam and I on the table,
Sam and Ben Mallow and
Marina
Fontaine, which was a really fun corner.
And then Wally, and then Mike, and then me, and then the other table was Ian and Nikki and
Nikki's husband,
and intern
Steve. They were over there.
Yeah,
it was really fun at our table because Ben and I were telling, because Marina had no idea where I'd come from in science fiction, and Sam didn't either.
Yeah.
So and between Ben and I, we kept saying, and when I met so and so, and it's mostly just because I'm lucky. I've just been around a long time. Jack came to dinner too.
Jack was there. Jack was there. He was over with
the
Ian.
Other table. So
yeah,
we didn't see him at dinner.
Nikki.
So, but it was fun to just tell him the stories, and Sam going, wait, what?
Where did you come from? Why do you know all these people?
Did that a lot to Sam. So that was good. And I agree with Ian. I like Nando's.
They were good.
Nando's was good. So who were you talking to at dinner? Do you even remember?
I was talking to Mike and Wally.
Oh, okay. Because you had Mike and Wally that time.
I had Mike and Wally that time. Like, I got my guys. I'm good.
But the real adventure was the parking garage.
Oh my God, that was
because we were glad what was that thing? Was it like an expedition?
Yeah, it was an expedition. We could fit 8 people in it.
We had like 8 people in it.
Yeah, and
it was like double seats, and it had like a sunroof, and I was like, "Aren't you glad we have everybody in here so we don't have to?" That for the chicken.
Yeah, Nando's hot spicy was.
Okay, so it was a Ford Expedition XL. It was
massive, and we appreciated it. And I appreciate that you were the one driving it, because as much of a control freak you like me about the cars I'm in, Casey was one of our favorite people, and we didn't get to see her nearly as much.
Right.
It was awesome.
Oh, but I got to go sit with all the girls on Friday.
I'm so jealous.
So I snuck away because I was constantly surrounded by guys, right?
Right.
Casey and Marisa were sitting together, and then HP came and joined us, and then Melissa Olthoff came and joined us, and we had this like wonderful spread of purple and black, and then there was me. I was contrast. And then Tony came by, and okay, so this is one of the best parts for me. When I go to conventions, I love it when authors have a moment of, oh my God. Marisa had a really big one that she didn't talk about later. But Melissa Olthoff was sitting there, And she's just a doll. I just love her, and former military. And we were just talking away, and Tony walks up and says something to her about, where's that manuscript you promised me? And Melissa did she had gummy face. It was like, I got this. And she is a really put together woman.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing startles her. So seeing her kind of like freeze up and go, and it was like one of those moments of shock and delight and oh my God. Mm-hmm. And when somebody achieves a dream that they've always wanted, and she had that moment.
That's so wonderful.
And it was the best ever. And I was like, this is why I come to conventions, guys, to see this kind of thing happen where people look and realize, and we had several of those.
Yeah.
So
it was so great.
Yeah. So that was really fun hanging with you guys. She is awesome.
Yes.
Casey.
I'm enjoying her writing. I'm looking forward to getting to know her better.
Yes. So she's marvelous. And I got a really great picture of the three of them.
Yes. Oh, that was a great picture.
So yeah, that was great. So other stuff Friday. I know you were off doing stuff Friday.
I was off doing stuff Friday. I stuck away for a little bit. That was nice.
Well, that's right. You got a chance to go away for a little while.
Yeah.
Before it got crazy. Yeah. And we were beating up on James Young because he had to get the final 10 stories to us.
Well, I needed him to give me the go ahead on the last story.
Yeah. Because Saturday at the convention was contract day for Giant Freaking Robots.
Yes.
That's guest edited by Dr. James Young, who is awesome.
Yes.
So we were trying to get that done at the same time. I have learned that I am now going to go move all the contract days at conventions off.
Yeah, not because that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
It was stupid, except for the fun parts.
That was okay. That was my favorite part, honestly. Just because one of the things we did while we were there, because HP Hollow and her husband Jacob, both submitted stories for the Giant Robots anthologies.
I mean, hello.
And the thing is,
are we excited about that or what?
They're in the same universe, and they follow each other canonically in the. I guess it's the Edie Sky story and then the Jacob Hollow story will happen, and we have so many good stories that we're going to have one in the first and one in the second. And so we wanted to check with them and make sure that our publishing, because one of the things we had to add the second Giant Robots to our anthology schedule.
Squeeze it into the schedule, so it's going to come out the week before LibertyCon. So
yeah, and Titan Mage is so good. Heather rocks. Yeah,
just cool. And Jacob doesn't. He's like not chopped liver.
He is not. No.
But we had to let them know that we actually were going to do a second one because you don't say you're in this one and then switch them to a different book without talking to them first.
Right. So we sat down talking because I know they have self-published stuff coming out. They've got stuff with Bain coming out. They've got they've got stuff with like David Weber coming out. Like, so we wanted to make sure that we fit in their promotion schedule.
We didn't mess anything up. Yeah. So,
and they were very surprised that we asked.
Yeah.
Which was
seemed odd to me.
Well, it's I understand where they were coming from, but it is not the norm, but it should be. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I suppose, but I was a little like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then Jacob threw something else at us, which caused squeeing and communicating with dolphins. So more on that later. But
yeah, oh my gosh, so much fun.
That was fun. So I got their contracts done, and then we went downstairs and. We had been teasing a certain author. I'd been teasing him all day for 2 days. This is your story.
I had been teasing a certain sergeant major for 2 days. Like, I don't know if he'd had a story in our anthology yet. He's like, because he's trying desperately, and you can tell he's trying desperately not to ask. And he even says, "I'm really trying not to be that guy and ask about my story all the time." And I'm like, okay, good for you. Well done. So I was being an absolute tease about it.
Yeah.
And so when we waved him over in the bar and handed him his
waved piece of paper, went "oh," and it was so funny. No, you did have a comment, Mike. You
did have a comment. And it was the best one ever.
Would you like to say it?
You guys are dicks. I love you. Best part.
Yes, and I did get to measure all of Casey Azell.
Excellent.
Because we have a super secret project, so that we're doing super secret. So, but it was fun to hang out too. So yeah. For what little amount of time we actually had.
I know we were constant. It feels like we were constantly. We didn't see enough of the people we saw.
Yeah.
And we missed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
That we wanted to see. And like
Carlton, I saw for like a split second.
Right.
Carlton McKinney, I got to talk to for like 3 seconds. And I waved at him. And
he was there. And I know he was there. And then I had to leave. And then he wasn't there when I came back. And then I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was a small convention. And yet we were still pretty,
yeah.
Pretty safe. Yeah. Mike was fan. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of big.
Comfortable talking to people.
Yeah. So for us, it's just like our buddies, but our buddies have done good.
Yeah.
Right. But for somebody who's brand new, like these guys, they're brand new coming to conventions. People we see as just like, oh, that's my buddy, and wow, isn't it great? He's really selling a lot of books now. They're like, oh my god, like, oh yeah, I suppose okay,
right. Well, so, and last year, where we met Casey and Marissa, which was we met them at Marscon, like officially met them at Marscon. We've been passing.
Well, Casey and I had chatted a couple times, and Marisa, we there's been a few little moments where we just interacted, but we hadn't actually sat and talked until last year at Marscon. And it was so great to have the chance to just go, hey, and then we kept running into each other and talking more, which is usually how this happens, right? So, and just, that's just how it happens.
It is.
And so we forget. We forget that we know this badass writer named Casey Azell. It's Casey. She's got cool blue hair, and when you put a tiara on her, she turns into a happy 12-year-old princess.
I remember last year, I'm like, oh my god, that's Casey Azell. I can't go talk to her because she's so cool. She's so much cooler than I am. I just want to be around her, and she's way cooler than I could ever be. And she's got all these. Oh my god. So I was totally fangirling at her, and
then at Fantasy,
I
think I was tying up their friend.
Yeah.
Was I tying up Tara?
Well, I threw a salt packet at her at Marscon.
Oh, that's true, at Marscon.
Because I've come to find out that she was in complete awe of you.
Well,
and I'm like, oh, so we're all just fangirls of each other and just throw things at each other now.
We were all fangirling each other, which is how it should be anyway, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, it was really fun, and it's been fun over the years to build these friendships. But when you're a brand new person walking into that, it can be a little
a little overwhelming.
And also, you don't want to be that guy or that girl who's annoying, or
right.
So we forget.
Yeah,
we forget. Because and then Saturday was another round of get up. We went to breakfast Saturday morning.
We went to breakfast Saturday morning,
and Mike had a chicken fried steak the size of his head, and that was a good restaurant. It was good. And we went in the land yacht.
That was fun.
There's now new lore for Raconteur Road Trip, which is all in the North Texas Troublemakers thing. If you just do hashtag Raconteur Road Trip search, all kinds of fun, silly stuff happened.
It was fun.
Yeah, it's.
Oh yeah, the short rib Benedict looked good too.
It looked amazing. But Saturday was a full day of meetings for us.
It was.
And contracts, and I didn't get to a single panel.
Nope.
On Saturday, I didn't actually get to the dealer's room until late Sunday. But all day long, we had meetings with various people for some really cool projects that we've got coming up that we can't talk about yet. Yes, Wally swore for the first time. In 10 years, when we're all sitting around going, wow, can you believe our first year at Raconteur Press is a real boy? And Wally learned to swear.
I love it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. You see, we're at home on the home internet because we're not.
It's cold outside,
and we're tired.
And I have a bed not too far from here, so I'm going to get it back in it eventually.
Right. We're dressed enough that we're decent. So, but yeah, I didn't. So anyway, but Saturday was full of really fun stuff and really great opportunities and making some connections that we really loved. And that's when it was kind of funny. Bridget came over and she plopped down next to me at 4:30 at the bar, because the bar, right? And you're in bed. You smart girl. So you guys made it home safe, right? Through all that snow, obviously, because you made it. I was concerned about you and Marisa getting home okay. So Mike's in bed too. Everyone's in bed with us tonight.
Well, and that's how rumors get started. So you can take the 3 moms to bed. Sorry.
Yeah, a warm one with a heating
The
pad.
heater bed with the heater.
A cat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so Saturday, Bridget came over and parked next to me on the tile around the big fireplace that was there. And she said, "Hi, we'd really like to go to dinner right now." And I went, "Okay, Bridget."
Okay.
I said, "What do you want?" She said something, we have to be back by 7. And I said, "Okay."
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kind of did my usual Jonna, gather up the gang and go.
We got the ducklings in a row and off we went.
And they were like, and getting Larry out of anywhere takes 20 minutes, right? So we sent in the gang, the boys ahead with the number for the table, and we went, froze our butts off walking over to the restaurant. And then it was kind of fun. We plotted. We put the boys all around Larry because the boys were talking to Larry. And then we got Bridget at the end of the table.
Yes, that was awesome.
So, because she's wonderful.
Yeah.
And we are not authors, Bridget or I. We are not. So we got to have a chance of it's like, you guys go be authors over there. Mm-hmm. We're going to go over here and just talk about life. So,
and I had an ear on this conversation and an ear on this conversation. And when this conversation got boring, I moved over to this conversation. Yeah. And when this conversation, not boring, but okay, you guys want to get off to this conversation over here.
Yeah.
And just, it was.
Yeah. And it was
good.
It was lovely. It was also fun to watch everybody. Larry is such a fine and decent human being.
Yeah.
Well, they both are. And to have young authors, I mean, not chronologically in their age type thing, but just young in their experience in their careers, having the opportunity to experience Larry's generosity was really lovely to watch, and it just a reminder of the kind of people we know and how humbling it is.
Yeah. Well, we had dinner with Larry and Bridget, which was wonderful, and I don't get to spend enough time with Bridget.
No,
it's hopefully we can make time to spend. Hopefully we can manage to make more time to spend with her at some point.
Yeah.
But the guys got to spend the time with Larry, and I know they're talking about, we had a great dinner with Larry, and he's never going to remember us. It's like, oh, you don't know Larry. But later that night, we took them up to Speaker's Suite.
Yeah, it's at Rob Hampson. Because I think we were a little toasty and done by then.
A little bit.
And needed some peace and quiet. Mm-hmm. And Speaker, of course, always has his suite, which is, and he is very generous with us with his space, which is just marvelous. So we ran away.
Well, and so on Friday, I have to tell this part of the story.
Yes.
On Friday night, Jack had introduced me to a young man named Brandon. Because he's in a not an MFA, but a Master of Arts in Literature, in English Literature, and Creative Writing.
Yes.
So it's a dual masters, and it was very cool. And he's like, I'm writing short stories. And we're talking like, I was writing short stories for class, like to write science fiction and fantasy, and all the girls in my class are writing romance. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you can get some feedback back and forth, but I'm sure there's actually probably not a lot of overlap for where you're getting useful information, useful feedback. And he goes, yeah. He says, one thing he's like, everybody's too nice. I'm not getting useful critiques on my stuff. And I go, oh, hold on a moment. And I take his arm and I put my hand behind his back and I pivot us 90 degrees and introduce him to Sam, Mike, and Nick. And so I would like you to introduce you to the Alpha Mercs. If you would like to tell them, what you just told me. And he's like, and so we go over that he's not getting good critiques.
People may not know who the Alpha Mercs are.
The Alpha Mercs are a writing critique group who are doing magnificent work. I know I'm still getting kind of feel for everybody who's in it, but they gave us those 3 gave us lanyards. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to claim them. And I know Tiffany's one, and I know Sam Robb, and I know Matt is one. Mike,
and
yeah,
Nick is one. I don't know who the rest are, but we know.
But I'm identifying people as I know that.
Yeah.
And so we ended up talking for another 2 hours because I know Mike was getting ready to go to bed, and I kept him up a lot later. And Brandon said, I only got a day pass because my wife's got stuff tomorrow, and I told her I was going to be here today. I'm like, okay, cool. I said, well, why don't you come back after her stuff, like, come back tomorrow evening. We'll be here in the bar. Come get a drink and we can chat some more. So he was there chatting. And as we're like, we're running away. We need to go have a meeting. So we ran away to Speaker's Suite, and took Brandon with us. So it was Brandon and Mike and Nick and Sam, and Ian came up for a little bit, but he ended up going to bed early.
Yeah.
And we got up there, and David Weber was holding court in one corner, and the Speaker was on the couch, and we all got comfortable. And he may have actually pushed it.
I will defend Steve. He did not. He looked at the table and went, "I'm sitting there," and he was there.
And he got his spot, and that was his spot for the rest of the night. It was great. All right, and while you were in and out too, you had to run a couple errands.
Yes.
I was so toasty. I know you were there because you hung out with me after everyone else went to bed.
I know. I just went straight for the couch and sat down next to Speaker, because
right.
I don't get to see Rob very often, and it's really fun to be able to just sit and chat with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, he's so very pleased we have claimed him as part of the North Texas Troublemakers. Here's this man with all these huge advanced degrees who's so brilliant. And then at the same time is this geeky weird kid who wonders if he's part of the group.
It's like, dude, you are so we're grateful you want to hang out with us. We like you. We think you're cool.
I love Rob, and he was holding court on the couch with the boys, and then Sam was sitting on the floor next to me. Mm-hmm. Have you told that part yet?
I have not yet. You would like to? You can tell that part.
So
that's a great part.
I'm sitting there, and we're just, Rob and I are just talking away, and the guys are talking with us, and then Rob is sitting on the floor, and he's the one who started the Teen and More group on Beef. So just saying. So and Rob's like, we're in the room with Rob Hampson, and I looked at him and I said, "So you do realize that guy over there at the table? That's David Weber." I hit the floor. And that's his wife right next to him. He's like, "You're in the room with David Weber. Why don't you go say hi?" And of course, Ian, God bless him, Law Dog's like, "You've never met David Weber?
Let's fix that off.
Let's fix that." So he grabs Sam off the floor and marches him over to the table and said, "This is Sam Rob." And David Weber, of course, is his ever so delightful self. It's like, "Oh, hi." And Sam's like doing the guppy impression. And he's such a together guy, Sam Rob. And seeing him turn into a guppy was the cutest thing.
It's fun to watch him get flustered. It's fun to watch all of these guys get flustered. Because they come in like very, not...
they're new. They're just so new. And Sam comes to us from doing work in the political field. Mm-hmm. And he was talking this morning about how he thought doing political campaigns and stuff was hard work. I had no idea how hard a convention could really be, because we ran his butt off.
Yeah.
But what the nice part of that is we have this wonderful kid
who's wanted to do that before he went home. And then he got,
apparently we're lagging. So we're sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry guys. I know part of that's a Facebook thing, or not a Facebook thing. It's a YouTube thing.
But we also just
he stepped out of his comfort zone and got pulled into a group of people who went, "You're cool. Hey, let's hang out." And I got him up to, and we were talking in the room, and I'm like, "So how you doing?" And his wife shoved him out the door.
Yeah.
To come. He's like, "Yeah." She's watching the kids and are hanging out with her mom, and she basically told me I was coming tonight. It's like, it wasn't a question. Like, okay, cool.
We'll see you later, Wally.
Yay, Wally.
We adore you, Wally. To see him. So,
but it's, yes, Wally, it was so wonderful to spend time with you. We need to do that more often.
Really was. So,
but yeah, it was. I'm like, "So how you doing? How you doing so far?" He's like, "I don't know what I did to get this lucky, but I'm so glad I came back tonight."
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
In case he's right, the best thing is taking a new rider and tossing him in the deep end of the pool.
Right? Isn't that fun?
Well, because everyone was new. Everyone was new once.
Yeah.
And for me, I've been around so long that nothing's new anymore.
Right.
But the best part for me is seeing the success of someone who I know has worked really hard for it.
Yeah.
Or they're just getting their toe in the door and they're looking at somebody who's done it and getting a chance to sit with them and hear that they had a hard time too.
Mm-hmm.
Or watching them get their first contract, or it's like, that's absolutely the best.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things I really love about conventions is that interaction.
I love going and watching my friends succeed, because like when they succeed,
rising
tide. Well, quite on a completely, selfish note, I get more books. Like, you guys all write good stuff, I get more good stuff.
Yeah. So it's also nice to see that people who have been truly touched by your writing get a chance to actually meet you and tell you that.
Right.
I mean, Casey wrote this wonderful story called Naked,
Mm-hmm.
which I read years ago, which I have a personal connection with, because my father-in-law flew PBYs, and it's about a guy in a PBY, and you guys need to go look it up. It's a great story.
Yes.
And I haven't seen her and Mike have a discussion about that story was terrific. So yeah. So for me, that where you can have that, you can say this actually made a difference for me, and tell the person who labors in quiet obscurity in their office, banging out words, that they really did reach you. Yeah.
Because so many times it feels like you're shouting into the void. Like you don't get enough feedback, or you don't get the right kind of feedback, and it doesn't. You don't think you're doing anything.
Yeah.
But
in fact, when you go to a convention, every writer gets a chance to have that moment. And it's really cool.
It's so fun.
And I think we're lucky in that the majority of the writers that we know, just in this extended community that we're part of, all have the attitude of they understand. They're not like, oh my God, fans, they're so annoying. They more have the attitude of you actually read my book, thank you.
Right.
Or they understand that it's a symbiosis between the writer and the reader, and they don't disrespect that.
Yeah.
So
I know how many reviews some of my books have, and it still astonishes me that someone's go, oh yeah, I read that book. I'm like, I have over 1,000 reviews on this book. I know people have read this book. They're like, somebody read my book?
Yeah.
Like, it's just it's a hard thing to wrap your mind around sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, fans. Like,
yeah.
Well,
yeah. I'm a fan's come be my friend, right, Casey? It's like, yes, come here.
You like me. You really like
me. It's like we all need our little Sally Field wings, our little flying nun thing.
Yes. Oh my God.
And
yes.
Make a sticker that's just flying nun. So we can say, you like me. You really like me. Does anybody remember she did a series called The Flying Nun? Okay, good, because sometimes I feel so old.
I'm not exactly a spring chicken or anything myself, but still, I do remember The Flying Nun.
Thank you. Probably repeats because I saw it originally. But anyway, that's okay. But it was still something too that was, I don't know, something that we all talked about. Ian and Kortnee and I talked about a lot, and because our getting home adventure was way over the top. But we're like, this was very much a lark doing Raconteur Press. And last year it kind of became a real business, right? And this year it's becoming a real boy. And so, but we are so flummoxed or overwhelmed, humbled.
Definitely humbled.
Like, unbelievably grateful. And not surprised, but just like, I guess surprised.
Surprised. I mean,
at how much positive support we're getting.
Yeah. Because we went into it knowing that there were people who wanted what we were doing. We knew that there were people who were interested in coming and playing.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of knowns.
Yeah.
But it's different knowing, like, okay, these people online liked your post versus these people not only liked your post and bought your books and told other people to buy your books and are coming to meet you and want to ask you questions.
Yeah.
Like it turns it from this is nice to a holy cow, this is real.
Yeah. It's nice to know that we feel like we're doing something right.
Yeah.
But every time we go to a convention, it's just like this love bomb that we're getting, and it's so. It's just, because we labor in quiet obscurity in the shop, trying to get all the stories out and doing our thing and hoping we can do it right and trying to communicate correctly and making sure that everybody knows what's up. And owning our stuff when we make a mistake, because God knows we make them. But it's still, and we show up at a convention and it's like, we love you. And, it's a little startling.
And not just we love you, but can we play?
And here, let us help. And here comes this thing. And it's just, I'm wow.
It's very humbling.
It's just wow.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
It's a little overwhelming at times.
But it's also like it's a responsibility at the same time. I feel very much like we can't blow this.
No, we cannot screw this up.
Yeah.
We have made a promise.
Yeah.
And we're going to follow through on that promise.
Yeah. So but we're going to make mistakes, and they happen.
Yeah.
Right. But it was really lovely to have what we're trying to do be validated. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but just like
it was very affirming.
Affirming.
Yes.
See, you're the author with the words. She has the words. I'm not an author. I just have the amorphous. I know what the costume looks like. So
you're beautiful too, Casey, and we're so happy to have you.
We love you. Well, I think that's the thing is a long time. It's like 5 years ago. We all decided we're done with the battle. We want to do, if we want to be the happy, silly, cheerful place where everybody supports everybody, you just have to start doing it.
Yeah, we're going to be the happy, cheerful place where we support people. And by God, we were going to support you.
Even if you don't want us to. Put that damn corset on you. So, the right way. But I am so grateful for the,
yeah.
And poor Ian, who's twitchy enough on his own. I have to say a public thank you to Nick and Mike, because not having Rita there, and he gets kind of twitchy because he's just one of those guys who's used to it. But Mike and Nick and Wally just being there for him and really gave him a stable platform to work from. And we have the best community.
We really do.
We really do. I mean, just not only in our group of authors, but our extended community. They're just, you guys are just amazing.
Like watching everybody bully Lizzie into eating. Having been on the end of that, ha 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 ha, is all I can say to Liz. But
different target this time.
Target, yeah. Like, this is so funny. You guys go have fun.
My phrase is, don't make me pull out my mom voice. So because I will, honey. But that was was really wonderful. And so I mean, that was kind of go figure, Nancy. What is it with that, right? So I mean, I would love to give a rundown of all the panels we went to, but I made it to one.
Yeah, I made it to half of one because you had
to go do something. We were at the gatekeeping panel, and Marisa did a marvelous job moderating that. And Ben, oh my God, Ben Yallow.
Absolute treasure.
So Mike Burke said that he was leaning so far in listening to Ben Yallow, he was afraid he was going to fall into his mouth. It was adorable.
It just tells you he wants to learn.
But everyone had to introduce themselves on the panel. And what did Ben say? Hi, I'm Ben Yallow, and I go to conventions. It was like, and you're right. Ben is beyond treasure, and we were able to park the guys in front of him several times.
Yeah.
And we claim him as ours. Yep. And he's so excited that he actually gets to come to dinner again in a couple weeks. He's just dying.
Oh, I'm so glad he gets to come up, and that he feels like he can come up here and have dinner.
He can just come up and relax. So,
because I always end up with homework when he comes and visits.
Well, he was saying when we were standing in the airport that he likes being the book fairy. That he kind of listens to people, and he kind of figures out where they're going and what they're doing. And then if he knows he's going to see you again, he brings some books with him.
Yep.
And so he can like you know. And so Nick was writing down books in a list every time Ben would suggest one. And Nick looked at me and says, I've got like $1,000 worth of books here I have to buy. And I'm like, welcome to Ben. So here you go.
This is how you work.
That's the other thing too.
Yeah.
That I love about our community that we have at these conventions is the opportunity for learning.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's so much learning. I mean, well, I'm sorry, we could just sit with Ben all day and never. It just.
And he was teasing. He's like, I think I'm gonna do this one. I think I'm gonna do this panel at LibertyCon, and if they give me a second one, I'm gonna try and do this one. I'm like, yeah, I will go and bridge down to get you that second panel. I want this panel.
I will open up my suite, and you can come on in and have that panel.
You can
we'll
just like
tell people.
Tell me about it. I'm sure we can get people here.
Yeah, he's a remarkably generous man.
Yes, he is,
and very funny. He's got a very hidden, sly, sort of sneaky wit about him that I really like. So, yeah. So one of the fun things about this too is when you're traveling is you run into people at odd places. So when we first got to the airport to get our baggage, we were waiting at baggage at Norfolk, and who walks up at John Osborne, who is a lovely man but very introverted like we are. So he's standing at baggage thing, and he turns around and sees us, and we wave at him. And I said, would you like to come over and sit here and introvert with us? We're just looking at our phones until our baggage gets here. And he's like, yes, thank you. So we just sat there looking at our phones, and I saw him once at the convention because in passing. And then while we were on our planes, trains, and automobiles thing, I was walking down the concourse, and who do I see sitting in the concourse, but on the way trying to go home is John Osborne. So I walked up behind him, and I haven't heard from him. I hope he did get home. But he was not having a good time.
No.
So, but the sagas of travel.
Oh my gosh!
For this convention were pretty hilarious. So, Oz, we love Osborne. At $20 to $50K, Casey, we were sitting at the end of a big dinner table with Rob, Howell, and some other folks.
Tamara, and we
had a bunch of people. And we were in this Mexican restaurant, and I was sitting next to John, and I looked at him and I said, "Is it okay if we just sit here and not talk to each other?" And he's like, "That would be great." I said, "Thank you." So,
okay. Oh, we beat him home.
We beat him home
by like an hour.
Here's the funny part. Nick had to fly all the way back to Amsterdam and then drive to his house in Turkey. He was like, where he is, right? So our flights, we got to the airport at like 11. Our flight kept getting pushed back, but we finally got out of Norfolk at like 4:30. And then we got to Dallas. And our flight was delayed till like 10 p.m. And then 11. And then canceled the very last flight going to Wichita Falls. And it was like, oh my God. Right. So then we're like, can we get to Lawton, which is an hour north? And so we booked it on down, got switched to the Lawton flight, and did the frantic call to North Texas gang going, can someone get us, please? Help. So God bless Ian. He got up, drove up. This is the airport for Fort Sill, right? So there's a whole bunch of military guys on there, adorable as they are. But we did manage to get on the plane. We got in at like 2 something.
Like 2:20.
Had to wait to see if our luggage made it, which it did not. Ian abused a corporal.
No, it was private. It was a private. It was one. It was so funny.
Yeah, it was inadvertent but adorable.
He was so tired.
He was so tired. And then we finally got home at like 2:30 in the morning. And then Nick, who went all the way to Europe an hour later, got home.
He beat us home.
He beat us
by
home.
an hour.
Yeah.
No,
we beat him home by an hour.
Yeah.
By an hour. Traveling all damn day. He got to Europe, and we just had to get here. So,
and then he slept for 12 hours.
And then, I didn't. But
no.
But anyway, it was just, you guys, if you haven't read it, you should go read the new post on
Monster Hunter Nation.
Monster Hunter Nation.
Oh my God, that was
about
so funny.
we were sitting around at dinner comparing bad airports, and O'Hare won hands down. And Larry remembered he'd written about the LibertyCon where Chuck Gannon took 8 days to get home. Right? I don't know if you guys remember that one.
Oh my God, that was
so half the convention is the pre-convention, and then the are we all home convention, right? So
and we were checking in with all of our group chats, like, hey, who made it home?
Yeah, is just because we like to make sure. And that's the other thing I really like about this community is we all want to make sure everybody gets home okay.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about the snowstorm, Casey, and I'm really glad you guys got home okay.
Yeah.
So although Marissa we got tagged into David Weber's Honorverse. And I'm like, yes! You know, we're like dancing around the room for her. She was so excited. I was like, this is fabulous.
That is awesome.
It is awesome. So I was going to poke her. Remember? So you remember that cat story you promised us? I think we could probably let it go.
Yeah, probably.
Because she's got too much work to do. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll forgive her. Oh darn.
Oh my God, Nick! It is 4 a.m. in your time.
What the hell are you doing up? It's 4 in the goddamn morning.
I applaud your dedication. Mm-hmm. I question it occasionally, but I applaud it.
Okay, we'll forgive you on that one. So, but no, we're just so happy for Marisa. It's just like that's the coolest thing ever. I mean, really? Is that not the best?
That's awesome.
Oh, awesome with awesome sauce. So, yeah. Well, you still are in Virginia, honestly, because all the work we still threw at you today.
Yeah.
So
you need and your after action was fantastic. That was a beautiful brain download.
Oh God, the best part. So we had Nick sitting right next to us taking notes. Because normally it's like me trying to remember everything and there's no fire hose, no way. So, yeah, just that was wonderful and amazing. So yeah, it was mostly about community.
Yeah,
Marscon was really about community for us. So, and recognizing how, Casey, you do because you had cool stuff going on too.
Yeah.
And it was fun. So,
yeah, and Sunday night I got enough drinks that people asked me about my super secret project.
Yes, which is you're not going to talk about that now, are you?
No,
no, but she's got a really cool project coming up. So, which involves a whole bunch of military guys doing something very strange. You should do a new after action report, Mike. Absolutely.
Yes. Because you had so many holy shit moments. It was, oh my God.
You have to talk about the asshole panel because I wanted to go to that one, but that was like in the evening and we were
obligated somewhere else, I think.
We had to be somewhere else. And I did not get to go to that panel. And I so wanted to go to that panel.
Yes.
So that was so frustrating because it looked really good. So yes, please do that.
Yes.
That would be so great. I'm sure it was a riot. So
look at the people who were on it. I mean,
yeah,
it couldn't have been anything but.
And Larry was on that one too, wasn't it? Didn't a couple of our guys go to that one? I think. Or I think Mike ended up talking to somebody who was going to go. I don't know. It just looked like it was this panel, but I literally didn't get to go to anything. Although I'm not going to complain about what I got to do. So.
Oh no, we got some.
Yeah.
We had some really cool conversations.
Yeah. So. And the no shit panel for once, Ian wasn't on it,
right?
So
I was shocked,
and I think we were at dinner when it happened.
I think we were.
So, that would have been really fun to see. But
there were a number of panels where I'm like, that'd be really fun to go to. I know everybody on there. If I go to that panel, they're going to pull me up on stage. You guys have fun.
Have a good time with that.
You guys enjoy it.
No, and I didn't even make it to the costume contest because in the middle of the day, and I just wanted to go see because there was a lot of cool stuff in the hallways. So, and it was funny because Sam
costumes were awesome.
Well, Sam asked me. He says, "So, are you like?" You know, I said, "For me, it's like if someone's trying to represent what they love in a costume, I don't really care if it's 2 bath towels and a coat collar. The fact that they're trying is to be respected."
Yeah,
you know, and so that's how I feel about newbie authors sending in their very first story. They're trying; it should be respected. So.
Yeah. Like, I appreciate the effort. It may not be. Oh.
Yeah, we're having a hard time with Buffer because we're at home. If you guys are having problems with that, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. So, but you know, I'm getting to the point anymore that I just don't get to go to panels.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to start. We're going to have an office and have office hours.
Yeah, we did learn an important lesson because we had a very impromptu, sudden meeting in the bar that looked like a conversation that was actually a pretty serious meeting.
Yeah.
So
we had to tell at least 3 people to go away.
I had to be mean to people.
Yeah.
No, I just had to use bomb voice, which is not the same. But we're learning that we need to do that. So it was things we learn as we go along, and Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. So.
But I think next year we're going to be at Chattacon, which I think is right at the same time.
Well, yeah, Rob Howell
because he's going to be
master ceremonies at Chattacon, and we've not actually been to Chattacon.
Right, we've been to Marscon twice. We haven't been to Chattacon
but
yet.
They haven't announced dates yet, so we don't know. So we're not entirely sure what next year's schedule looks like.
Yeah. We'll see. So we might be back and we might not. We'll see what schedule looks like.
Because we get double booked pretty easily. Yeah. We're looking at it's like I'm not going to be at FenCon because we have to go to Pensacola because my grandfather's effects need to be put in the Pensacola Museum. And Pensacon's at the same time.
So you may as well double.
So we'll just do it at the same time. So we're going to go to Pensacon instead. Just not been there. Why not? Right? And we have some authors down in that area that we want to go see and hang out with that we've not seen. So so kind of like spreading the love. And I don't know how many of us are going to Fantasy. And really, Casey, the only reason I'm going to Fantasy is for you. So
because it will be our third. It'll be the second of 3 cons that month.
Yeah, we have 3 conventions that month. But really, what all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my sewing machine. I'm going to be in the room and working on your stuff. So, yes, my super secret project is sewing something for Casey, but I'm not telling you what. So
Alan, we will not be in Glasgow, but we are sending Ben. So if you see Ben Yallow,
well, he's kind of on the committee.
We're sending Ben as our representative.
Well, I love how you put that. Yeah, so we'll probably come out. Kortnee will probably come along with me for Fantasy, but we have a bunch of authors out there that we did not get to see this time, and she'll be close enough to meet with them, like Greg and Kathy, and Evan was sick, and so there's a bunch we need to get a hold of, and so you'll probably run off and do that.
I'll probably run off and do that and do meetings all day. Yeah,
and I'll just be in the hotel room doing the whole Stitch thing,
and I'll be drinking tea and just working on cough drops because I thought I had enough cough drops. I did not. So
did everybody else run into that problem? Because I sounded like Tallulah Bankhead.
Oh yeah, I've been
when I got home. So
this is the best I've sounded. Now there it goes.
Do the whole Harold face thing and turn into a 1940s movie star kind of thing. So because that's what it's like.
It feels like it.
Yeah, Mike was saying it's like I really sore throat. It's because you talked all weekend.
Yeah.
So, which is the thing we ran into. A bunch of us spend all this time alone, and then
they were with our tribe, and also we're talking for 3 days.
Yeah.
Nonstop. And it's because it's people people think I'm quiet until I'm comfortable around you. And then it's
this.
This
is what it is.
Yeah, it's I can go days without talking if I don't want to talk to anybody, but
yes, we're gonna so yeah. But it's and I'm not used to talking that much.
Yeah.
So I mean, I toss off the occasional straight line or zinger,
which
I'm particularly good at because I'm all about being precise with my words. But it's not often that we talk that much. So yeah, you're right, Nancy. It's an intermittent problem because authors, you're all tucked away in corners writing, and then you all get together. And it's like, so, and we just so want to see everybody, right?
Right, and and this is there we go. I realize I'm trying to read the chat, and I'm looking around the thing. I realize it's mobile. I can move it over.
What an idea! We're so tired.
I'm so tired.
You're so tired. But it's a good tired.
Yeah.
Right. Last observations.
Oh.
Because we're going to end on time.
We are going to end on time. We are absolutely ending on time. Final observations. Show up and do the work. And then when you get to the bar, shut up and be quiet.
Right, especially if you're new.
Yeah. Because there are so many people that you can learn from. And hearing the different conversations will help you pick out who is doing what and who you think your people are going to be. Because those of us who sit and go, and are constantly talking up other people versus those who are going to go, oh my God, I can't believe they did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Marscon was full of happy, gracious, giving, warm, and wonderful people. So, and we had the opportunity to be in the presence of, don't be afraid to engage.
Yep.
We had, it's like the kid who showed up and introduced himself. Look what happened to him. Right? No, it's serious. It matters. If you are a decent human being and you express your decency, the people who will be like, come here.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because we're always looking for more of our tribe. Because very often our tribe feels alone. It's like Maggie Hogarth feels like MCA Hogarth feels like she's very alone. And we've been like, oh no, honey, come here. Come here.
Yeah.
Come here.
No, you're ours now.
You're ours now. Because we need that. And Marscon was a lesson for me. In a kind of a personal way of how many people there really are there for us. And that was something that I really, really could use.
Yeah.
Especially right now. So, because there's a lot of stuff going on that's not really easy right now.
No.
Which I'm not going to talk about because it's just whining. But that was soul filling. So, yeah, Brandon nearly got kidnapped. We did kidnap him, just
a little bit. I mean, we let him go eventually, but like, being dragged up to.
We just. Yeah. So, but that's the thing is that how nice is it to be able to do that? To find somebody who feels lost and out and is trying to find people who can help them be their best selves, and we just kind of grab them and say, okay,
yep,
that's the best part.
It's like you're ours now.
That's absolutely the best part. So, being able to share that and hand that out. So, you know, that for me is just a reminder that we have to keep doing that kind of stuff because it matters.
Yeah,
it really matters.
And accepting newbies and going, okay, we
well, not just giving help, but learning to accept it too.
Yeah,
because it's a two-way thing.
And that was also really hard this weekend. Although I am letting go.
Of the accepting
I'm letting go of having to be in charge of everything and letting people.
Well, and accepting the fact that they can help.
Yeah.
You know, and just letting them do it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, hi, Julie. Oh,
Hi,
I
Julie.
hope you're doing okay. Hope Freeman's doing okay.
Yeah.
We're thinking good thoughts for you and Freeman because we know his health is not spectacular. So we just want to let you know we're thinking about you.
Thinking about you a lot.
Yeah. So anyway, that I think is our rundown of a really amazing, soul-filling, happy weekend with community.
Absolutely. It was fantastic. Yeah. And
actually, it's good though. That means they're monitoring him really close.
Okay.
And that level of care is a good thing.
Yeah.
So, not the reasons for it, but the level of care is helpful. So,
we'll check in with you on Discord, okay, Julie?
Yeah, we're gonna check in with you, okay, and you let us know if you need anything, because there's a whole bunch of us up here for you.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Well, it was lovely to see you guys online. Everybody I saw this weekend, it was wonderful to see you.
Glorious.
I love you all.
And now we're going to go crawl into our beds and put our pillows over our heads because we're tired.
I have a date with her and a cup of tea.
Okay, me too. I had a date with some whiskey.
Well, that too.
Night, guys.
Night, guys.